First of all, before we start, thank you very much for 1,000 followers. So this is quite special for me. It's awesome. Thank you, thank you. And now, welcome to the comparison of 7 Turkish bows. And yeah, usually I test the bows in a special way that you already might be familiar with. But this time it will be different because I want to do this in 3 chapters. Each chapter is different. So the first chapter is design, and it's about do these bows match the design that have the Turkish ancestors used. There are bows in the museums from maybe 17th century, 16th century, and Adam Karpowitz has taken the time and measured all these bows, and he's written a book about it. And I will give you a summary, a short summary of what he has found out regarding the design. And then we see how much these bows match the designs of former times. The next chapter will be performance. So we will have shooting. It will be about how the bow is, how's the draw, how's the accuracy, and how's the speed. And the last chapter is design and price, or his beauty and effort. Beauty and effort is then what does it take to get this bow, so how much do you need to pay, and what is the bow looking like. Would you just say, well, it's fine without painting, or with painting it's better? And yeah, this is how much you need to do and what you need to do if you have the bow. And we come to this in a bit. So first of all, I would like to start with the bows itself, because I want to verify that all the bows have around the same strength. So this is the prerequisite, and let's check this up front. So we start with the Hornbow. You might have seen this Hornbow before. This is the Hornbow number 62. It's been created by a German bowyer who does it in his spare time, so that's the reason why it's not as expensive as it could be. So, we measure only up to 28 inches. Oops, what's wrong here? Ah, yeah, then it's not working. This is the tiller correction. Okay, we come to this in a bit. All right, now it should work better. Aha. So up to this point here, we have 38.58. We take only the first number, 38 verified. So, next one. The next one is the Biocomposite Turkish bow. This bow has just arrived. It was originally not in the lineup, but occasionally Grózer had it on his website. It was for sale. Said, oh yeah, and then it would be good. It closes one gap, and we have it here. This bow, this review for this special bow will be done later. I've taken the first shots, so photographs, so that you can see then the unused bow in this video. And today we will shoot the bow the first time. So at 28. Yeah, around here. 37.04, so 37. It's not exactly 38, but okay. So, nominal the bow has 36. Just to make you aware, we have here in the sun a temperature of 29 degrees Celsius, which is quite hot. That's the reason why I moved here. And humidity in the sun is less than 29. Here in the shadow we have 29% humidity. That's the reason why I have moved here, because I don't want to let the bows strung rest in the sun. So. This bow has 40-2, low humidity, and then this hybrid bow gets stronger. 40. So this is the hybrid bow by Abu Salman. Hybrid means in this case it's indeed a fiberglass bow that has a wooden veneer and a horn layer on the belly side. This horn is only for the optics. Yeah, it does not have any effect on the performance. It makes the bow a little stronger potentially, because originally it was only 33 pounds. Yeah, so yeah, it has an effect, but it's not for performance. It's just for design, for good looking. It's not more. Here we have the laminated bow from Keskin. And this bow has originally 40 pounds. And indeed we have 37.92, so around 38. 38. So the next one is the Turkish Bow version 3 by Yuwen via bamboo archery. And this is, here's a carbon layer on it that we do not have with the pure laminated bow. It has only wood. This one has 37.92. This is the same poundage, so I do it again to verify. 37.68. We leave it at the 38, that's fine. If I pull a millimeter longer, it has the same. So, then the Monolith Nawalny bow. Nominal it had 35. $37.94, 38 is fine. 38. And last one. This is the short Sipahi Plus by Simsek, of course. And this bow is 28, 38.98, so it's 39 indeed. 39. So. Okay, we agree they are not 100% the same, but they are very much similar regarding the strength. All right, and now let's start with chapter 1, design. Adam Karpowitz has created some nice drawings, and I've taken one from his book, this one, and maybe I can enlarge it here a bit, and so I tried that way. So we have the Turkish form, and what you can see here, that we usually have here a small angle. This here is the bush, And this area here between the Bash and the Saal is the Kazan. And Bash and Kazan are the Ziyas. Saal is the bending area, and then we have the handle. So, and he has measured, and now it's a bit difficult for me to say if he has measured only the bump that you can see, or if he has also measured the transition area, because the handle section fades out into the limb. If I measure the handle section, I take it including the transition area, but I'm not sure if he did it, because the values, he said, are 3.5 to 5.5 inches. And this seems to be without the transition area. So that's the reason why I have measured again my handles, only with the bump section, the grip that you really have in your hand. The Bash has a length of 2.5 up to nearly 5 inches. This is at least what he has measured with the Ancestors bows, so we call it our reference bows. And we distinguish basically, so roughly, between the war bow and the flight bow. The big difference is that the war bow has here this angle between the Bash and the Kazan, and we see here a different profile for the Kazan. So here we have a profile for the Bash, for the Saal, then for Kazan, and then for Bash. Here on the flight bow, the transition area is very small, and he has said the Kazan section is less rounded, and Saal to Kazan thickness is nearly the same. And that's the reason why you see here then this rounded shape, and this is why the Turkish call it mensil. I hope I say it correctly. And this means half moon. So you have here a half moon shape, and with the war bow you have it more flattened here, and then you see here the angles. And if you have had a closer look at the pictures before the video starts, or yeah, the pictures in the very beginning, I have first taken the photos of the bows unstrung, where you can nearly see the shape, or this shape, and then strung, where you cannot see that easily anymore. So this unstrung photos are important for the classification. And this means, length. He has said the length knock to knock for the reference bows are, and maybe this is here then the table, it's a very large table, so maybe I need to go here. Very large table. The length knock to knock is between 38 to 52. And 38 is a really, really small bow, and 52 is quite okay. So why are so many differences? It's because of the draw length. And if you have an archer with a longer draw length, then the bow needs to be a bit larger. We have had the same topic with the short Sipahi plus. The short Sipahi is only 41.5 inches long. So the smallest bow that are in the museum are even shorter than that one. And the max draw of this bow is 28 inches. And if you want to have a longer draw, you need to have a longer bow. Furthermore, the effective strength, they are all war bows, of course, because these bows that have been collected have been in war. Yeah, so what else? What do you expect? But there have been also some flight bows found, and that's the reason why you could see the differences. So the strength at 28 was around 90 to 130 pound. Okay, my bows are much weaker than that, but don't mind. Weight in average is around 390 gram. And the bending length, and I don't think that he has, this is just an average again, 20 to 24 inches. A very short bow cannot have 20 inches bending length. Yeah, so these are the references we go through. And if we have a closer look at the table, you see that all bows are in the reference length in total from nock to nock. So they are all in this scope. We have except one. This is the Hornbow by Frank Voss. That is a little longer. And strength we don't see. Average to weight, fine enough. Bending length, we have only 3 bows that are in the bending length range. And I take the short Sipahi plus in the scope, even if it's less than 20 inches, but I've just said it's a very short bow, and a very short bow cannot have 20 inches bending length. So it's the short Sipahi, the Monolith by Lukasz Nawalny, and the Biocomposite Turkish Bow by Grózer. The others are longer because of they have changed maybe the Kazan length or whatsoever, yeah? Or a longer handle, for example. Then if you go down a bit, you see the bush length. The bush length, we said up to 4.9 inches, roughly 5. Yeah, and you see that the Hornbow and the Hornbow is longer than that, and the Turkish bow by Csaba is 0.1 inch longer, so okay, yeah. So all others have a bush length that is in the reference. And then the handle topic we've just touched on. We compare now the bump length, and we see that all bows are in the scope. So basically, regarding the measurements, they are all fine, except the Hornbow, which is a bit longer. And in everything, so in total and regarding the bush. Yeah, what else? Now it's about the class. Is it a war bow or is it a flight bow? You remember, the flight bow is rounded. I could fetch the brother of this one. There you can see that these bows get round. If I unstring them, they are a bit flattened here. It's a bit of string follow, but then they round. This is referring to a flight bow. I can see this, yeah, because here we have this transition area. It's not that pronounced. We do not have this steep angle. The Kazan and the bush are just one, and here it's not much of a difference. So the profile doesn't change much. It gets a bit thicker here, but yeah, so this is more flight bow. And I know from Frank Voss that he was aiming for a flight bow. But this is not 100% according to a Turkish flight bow. Yeah, we need to be very clear on that. This is inspired by a Turkish flight bow. Especially because he has some features the Turkish bows do not have. So here we have grooves for stringing. And this is something that is quite untypical. So then, here we can see it even in the strung portion. We have this angle, and so this is more looking like a war bow. Yeah, it's by far not as strong as a war bow, but yeah, war bow. Then we have, so this is the hybrid. We have here an angle, but it's not as steep. And unstrung, we do not have this angle as well, but it's not rounded like a flight bow, so it's neither nor. This is, I think, because it's a fiberglass bow, and I think it's due to production or whatsoever that it's maybe not possible, or Omar didn't know properly how this war bow is looking like. But yeah, so this is why I think this is unspecified. It's neither nor. The handle is like a Turkish handle. Yeah, so this is what it makes this a Turkish bow. But the Zia section is not according to a flight bow or a war bow. Then Keskin. Here we have the angle more pronounced, and if you compare it, yeah, you can see it better. Yeah, this is, I would say, more war bow. Although, of course, poundage-wise, yeah, we know that. Then the next one, the Yuwen. So all the handles are fine. We have here not that steep angle. The tips are not looking like a Turkish bow, but they are reduced to the max for speed performance. So this is inspired by war bow. Then Lukasz Nawalny. Here we have again the more pronounced angle, war bow. And then the last one, but not the least, as well, war bow. And here we can see the Kazan and the Bash. We already can see here this, maybe you can see it a bit better like this. Yeah, it starts here with a rib, it goes up like a spine, and there is a defined point here. We can see that the Kazan starts. And this is the Saal. Yeah. So design-wise, the short Sipahi Plus is the one that comes closest to what has been used in the 16th century. And maybe they have been a bit wider because the bows were stronger. And yeah, but this gives you an idea. So yeah, this is closest. Next one that is very close is the Keskin. So maybe compare these two. You can do it like this. Yeah. So it's similar. I just try to put these. You see, the angles are quite close. It's just a larger bow, and so it all happens a bit smoother. And here the short bow has it all a bit shorter, so compressed. And that's what you can see here. Then next one that is very close. Yeah, so here the Lukasz Nawalny bow has it similar. Maybe the angle, yeah, it's a bit different. We do not have the spine running here, as we have it here. But we do not have the spine on the laminated bow either. So, and the Biocomposite. So you can see it's very similar, although the bush section of the Biocomposite is much more than on the short Sipahi Plus. but it looks like being scaled. Yeah, it's upscaled or this downscaled, so it's very similar on this one. So, and then is something very interesting that we do not have in Adam Karpowitz's book. It's the ratio between the length, knock to knock, and the draw length. So I call it the ratio between this information. And interesting wise, there is one that has the longest draw length in relation to its bow length. And this is the short Sipahi Plus. So because of his short length, he can, although been drawn up to 28 inches. And this gives him a ratio of 0.67. Yeah, so this is quite large. Then most of them have a ratio of 0.6, 0.61, and there's one that has the least, and this is the Nawalny bow that has a length of 51 and can be drawn up to 30. So his ratio is 0.59. And I have here, oops, try my best that the bows do not drop. Yeah, you can see it here. This is the short Sipahi with 0.67. And the Hornbow has the least one indeed, with 0.54 here. Then the Monolith with 0.59, Tunc-Ay with 0.6, the V3 from Yuwen has 0.6, the hybrid is 0.61, Bio-Turkish composite is 0.63, and then the short Sipahi. It's not much of a difference, but if you compare these two, mini war bow, large flight bow. The flight bow here can be drawn less than the short Sipahi. And this is extraordinary. So this is indeed design-wise a winner. So putting this up here again. Closest. Performance-wise, it's not performance, but the ratio is the maximum that we have. But if your max draw is 31 or 35, this bow is too short for you. All right, this closes the chapter 1, design. And resume for the chapter 1 is all bows are matching basically the reference bows measurements, more or less. We have a few deviations because of bowyers' inspiration and creativity. We have the Yuwen, who is trying to even make this Turkish bow design better in reducing the bush mass and using different materials. We have one bow, the hybrid bow, that is not matching 100% the class of a war bow or flight bow. But overall, we can all say, okay, these shall be Turkish bows. All right, then, next chapter.